As we get started on all this, one of the things that's really, really important, especially from my point of view, is your attitude. Your attitude about what it is that you're doing, because there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, peaks and valleys, and you got to be able to handle everything as it comes. You got to be able to handle have the right attitude to be able to actually get to where you want to go, because that is such a huge part of everything. And the reality is, success doesn't happen by accident. This isn't something that there's just a lucky few that fall into it. There's a pattern here. There's a pattern here of the people who are successful are doing similar things. They're following certain principles. They're following certain rules that other people just aren't. There are people who are not doing things that they're not getting success, and people who are doing certain things that are getting success. And it's important to understand that we need to learn from the people who are being successful. That's why you shouldn't follow, there's that old book many, many years ago from Harvey Mackay, which is Beware the Naked Man Who Offers You His Shirt. In other words, don't follow the people that aren't having any success. Don't follow the people who have never done this, because they're just spouting things that they probably don't know any more than you do. So what are some, I put together 3 simple success keys for you today that I think would be really good things for you to keep in mind. The first one is that you need to always maintain a positive attitude. And the reality is, and I know everyone has down days, I know everyone has challenges and trouble, but negative attitudes produce negative results. It's just how it works. If you're going to have a bad attitude about something, if you're going to view things negatively, then everything in your body, in your mind, in your heart, and everything that you're doing is going to point in a negative direction. And that's just not how you're ever going to get to a better result. And you need to think about that, and you need to own that. If your attitude isn't always positive, if your attitude tends towards negative, you have to think that you're telling your entire psyche to point towards the negative. You need to teach yourself to point towards the positive, because you want to get a positive result for your life. And so your attitude is like the compass that's pointing you in that direction. And if, as well, a lot of people, complaining is extremely common in the world, right? Everyone wants to complain. Everyone wants to gripe about certain things. But the reality is, especially if you go online and you complain about things, complaining is going to repel your future clients. It's going to push people away, because people see you griping and complaining about things. You're just telling future people that might be your client someday, don't work with me. You don't want to work with me because I'm not a problem solver. I'm a problem creator. So don't do that. Keep the complaining down. And if you don't like something, that's fine. Every one of us has things in life we don't like. Just keep it to yourself. And also remembering, solutions do exist, but many times you have to work to find the solution. Now, a lot of times you may hear somebody that did something, you're like, I don't understand how they did it. It seems complicated, or it seems difficult. Well, the reality is, most things in life that are worth doing and having can be somewhat difficult. They can be a bit of a challenge to get there, but that doesn't mean the solution isn't there. That doesn't mean the option isn't there for success, but you're going to have to put in some effort to get there. You're going to have to work to find that solution. And in doing so, you have to keep an attitude that keeps you on the path. If your attitude becomes discouraged or it becomes negative, you're going to quit walking down that path, and you're going to stop working to find those solutions. A positive attitude is going to keep pushing you forward to continue seeking answers, to continue seeking solutions. The second success key that I want to share with you today is called always take action. Again, nothing is going to happen in your life until you move. If you're going to stay stagnant and you're not going to take action and you're not going to do anything, nothing is going to change for you. And again, sometimes people get very afraid to take action because you're afraid of making a mistake. But the reality is, you're going to stay where you are. You're going to stay stuck until you start to move. Again, the reality is, you have to be willing to make that mistake. You have to be willing to make a mess up. You have to be willing to do something wrong to be able to keep moving forward. And everything that you do, every action that you take is going to produce a result. Okay. Every result that you get is going to give you feedback, and that feedback is going to allow you to take your next step. So in other words, Well, say I take a step forward on growing my business, and I go out and I try and promote a webinar or something. Maybe I didn't do a good job. Maybe I did not get people to sign up and register for my webinar. So the results are that the feedback that I'm getting is my efforts to promote the webinar were not great. I did not get a lot of signups. I did not get a lot of registrants for the webinar, and that feedback is going to allow me to know that next time that I try and promote the webinar, I need to take a different approach. And but you never learn that and you never gain that unless you actually take the action. If you're sitting on the sideline thinking about it, or simply pondering it all the time, you'll never learn. You'll never find that right path. The only way you're going to get there is if you continuously take action to move in that direction so that you can make your mistakes, so that you can narrow down all the ways not to do it and to discover the ways to do it. And again, if you're not getting satisfactory results in an area of your life, it's likely tied to your level of action. So think about it this way. If you are facing a problem and that problem has been staring at you for a very, very long time, the reason is that your actions haven't changed. Your habits, the things that you're doing on a daily basis haven't changed enough to get you a different result. We are the product of the actions and the attitudes that we have. If we are, our daily actions, our daily habits, our daily attitudes are generating a certain kind of life for ourselves. And if it's generally positive and upbeat and we're constantly taking action in the direction of our goals, then our life is likely showing a reflection of that, is that we're getting closer and closer and closer every single day. But if we're not taking action and we have a very negative view of things, then we're likely very much stuck and nothing is ever improving. So if you want to get things different, you have to maintain the right attitude and you have to keep taking action in the direction of your goals. Success key number 3 is always be learning. Now, this is where I really want to encourage you to always surround yourself with people more advanced with you. And again, we are going to have people in this group that are all sorts of different levels. If you are only around people who are at your level, you're never going to grow. If you are the smartest person in the group, you're probably in the wrong group. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I just mean to understand you need to be around people that are more advanced than you because they're going to show you the way. They're going to show you the steps you need to take. They're going to show you the path that you need to go down. So you really want to be around those people wherever you can. So if you see someone in the group or around you that's more advanced, that knows things that you don't know, celebrate that. Be really excited about that because, yes, here's another person I can learn from. This is fantastic. This is great. I want as many of those people in my life as I can find. And then when you hear things from people who are more advanced than you, just absorb what you can and take a note of the rest. If you hear somebody talk about something and they're like, wow, I really am not sure I understand what they're talking about, that's great. Absorb everything you can, pull in all the knowledge that you can and internalize it as best you can, and just document and note the rest of it so that later on when you can come back, you can reread your notes. Maybe as you've taken more action, you can come back to it and it'll start to make sense even more. And you can just note those things and understand, oh, now I get it. Now I know what they were saying. But note it for now and document it so you can come back to it again in the future. And then just model the success of others. Find people who are having success. Don't follow people who are not having success. So if you want to create a successful business, find the people who have already created a successful business, who've already had success in this area. Figure out what they're doing and follow them. Don't follow and model people who've never done it, because they're only speaking from theory. They're not speaking from practice and experience of actually doing it. They truly don't understand it themselves. They just read it in a book or heard it from someone else, and they're just being a parrot to what the other people are saying. Find the people that are successful and model them. Figure out what they did and then implement it. Now, modeling doesn't mean copy. There's a difference between modeling and copying. Copying is just taking everything they did and just doing the exact same thing. No, modeling is looking at what they did, finding the structure, finding the principles, finding the truths of what they did, and then pulling it back and implementing it in your own style and in your own way and in your own method. That's what you should be looking to do. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, well, these principles are easily set. These are not unheard of principles by any means, and you're right. But while they're easily to say, they're hard to employ, and they require lots of discipline, dedication, and focus to do it. So while this may not have been like new information in a lot of ways, the 3 keys there, I'm sure, are things that you've heard a lot over the course of time. What I do want you to think about is, am I employing these? Am I disciplined in these areas? Am I dedicated to getting these things done on a daily basis? Am I disciplined to always keep my attitude pointed in a positive direction? Am I disciplined to always be taking action? Am I disciplined to always be learning new things so that I can improve my skill set and improve my knowledge and improve my abilities? Are those things being employed every single day? And if they're not, think about why not. Why am I not doing these things? Why am I not dedicated and focused on these things? Because if these things aren't being implemented, you're not receiving the benefit. So that's the training that we wanted to share for you this week. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. And Chris, we're back. That's good. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's helpful to you. Keep putting in comments in the threads, and we will be happy to, do future trainings again based on things that we hear from you that you would like to be trained on.
Absolutely. And David, as I was sitting here just kind of thinking about this too, that it's so much of this, right, starts between our ears and our head. I mean, it really does. Like, it can be overwhelming. It can be frustrating. You can feel inadequate no matter what stage you're in. You trying to get to that next stage always feels like you're a beginner again. And so you have to press through a lot of the limiting beliefs or the obstacles you face, and action taking. I love that, because one of the things I talk to a lot of people about is implementation. You have to do something. And I think I'm on the side of acting, but I need to back up and strategize more. But I know a lot of people who get stuck in strategy and never take action. And so I've fallen and scraped my knees and learned a lot of hard lessons along the way in some regards because of taking action. But I've also watched myself get farther down the road than a lot of people who I would consider smarter than me or more strategic than me, but they haven't ever implemented any of their strategy. And so I think, to kind of echo your point, is, folks, wherever you are in your journey, keep moving forward, keep taking that next step, whatever it may be, that you can. And I'm not good at celebrating progress. I'll be the first to admit that. I look at where I want to be and how far I am from that, so I get frustrated. I don't celebrate the fact that I've taken 10 steps to get there. So be kind to yourself. If you're like me in that regard, write down the wins, write down the things that you can realize. Look at where I was, look at where I am. And yes, I have a long way to go, but yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think that's really good.
And there's something that I'm not good at celebrating either, but I've learned something here the last while, and that is give yourself rewards along the way, even if they're small ones. And one of the things that has really even helped me be more productive and get more things done is I challenge myself and give myself a reward that's intentional. Like, if I can do these next 3 things this afternoon and get these 3 things done today, then I'm going to allow myself an hour to go do whatever. And I think about something that I want to do, and I would really love to just take an hour and just relax and go do that. Then I tell myself, okay, get this done, get this done, get this done. And if you can get it all done today, then you can have an hour to go do that. And you set that up as a little mini goal for yourself. Sure. And you're rewarding yourself by doing so.
Yeah.
And it motivates you to keep moving. You're like, yeah, I want to do this. And I gotta finish these things. And if I do that, great. Yeah. There's reward waiting for me.
What I think too, one of the things I've had to learn, and I'm bad at this still, so I'm a fellow struggler, I guess, in this regard, is that, like, it's easy to get behind the keyboard working on projects, especially, and staring at a screen like this. And there's been times where I'm like, I just have to get up and move and get outside, get some fresh air, go do something like you said, and realize, what, I have made progress. I am moving forward. It's just that there are so many pieces and steps that I need to take. I can't get it all done today anyway. So why I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I know a lot of people can fall into this, like, I need to be good to myself too, because if you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be good for your clients. Ultimately, you're not going to be creative enough and have the bandwidth mentally to do the the tedious stuff that you need to do for your business building. So being in your own business, doing your own thing, creating, whether it's in that design phase or looking to the launch phase or continuing to grow and scale, I mean, it requires mental toughness and mental, strength. And part of that is us being good to ourselves. Like you said, David, even if it's, hey, I got to do these 3 things today and I'm going to do that as a reward, celebrate it, so, well, I hope that this has been super helpful to you guys. Like I said, if you're watching the replay, share with us what phase you are in. Are you in that design phase? Are you building, in that front end, looking at what is my offer? What am I creating? What is it, a book? Is it a product? Is it a service? I know we have a lot of network marketing folks that are in here too. You kind of have the system that you're working within, but you still need to develop what you've got to do with that and how to get it out there into the world, and from the launching and marketing side of it. So that may be where you are too. Some people are, they're in the middle of their project. So tell us, where are you? Design, launch, or grow phases. And then, like I said, as we continue to go through this, ask your questions and let us know how we can help you, because we want to listen to you and be relevant to you so that we can help you take those next steps. Because many times you kind of just feel like you're spinning your wheels in the mud, and we want to get you out of the mud. We want to get you moving forward